Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I'm Penge. Welcome back to Just One Line, the sort of choose-your-own adventure fighting fantasy type game, but it's on a computer and it's got a little bit more sort of character customization and races and such like. So yes, this here is Billy Cupboard. Here he is. He's a fighting man. He's got some fighting skills. He's not got much in the way of sort of wit or personality or anything, but by golly, he can almost hit something quite hard. So he's a brother of Johnny Cupboard. Johnny Cupboard, last time out, was our first character. He didn't last very long. He went up to a barbarian and or a raider or whatever he was, a baddie, a bandit, and basically the bandit smashed his face in. He smashed Johnny Cupboard's head in, killed him instantly. Johnny Cupboard didn't complete one single bit of quest. He died. So Billy Cupboard here, he's a fighting man. Look, he's got the armour on. He's got a slightly kind of crappy looking bent sort of forks pitchfork, but that's fine. He's got a moustache. He's got kind of cool adventurer hair. He knows what he's doing. So he's a fighting guy. He took on the same sort of bandit, barbarian, whatever he is, and he killed him. He avenged his brother. He avenged Johnny. And now he's ready to do some other quests. We did try another quest. Here we go. So the trouble with bandits, we succeeded. Fist fights in the tavern, we nearly did. We kind of chose the wrong decision at the very end. There was a dwarf and we kind of outwitted him. But instead of essentially lamping the dwarf in the face, we tried to dodge and the dwarf caught us unawares and knocked us over, which was a shame, but never mind. So now we have to pick another quest to do. So it's all text-based, it's all lovely. There's lots of time to pick the decisions. It's all very nice. So we either have Laments in the Cemetery, which sounds a bit scary, or Rats in the Basement, which sounds a little bit more straightforward. So the Hounds, who are a faction in the game, are searching for a volunteer to do a little routine job. We're too busy to take care of it at the moment. We would highly consider any help. This is the original message from old Rennie. Giant rats are infesting my basement and eating all of my supplies. Please help me. That's a very unsubtle message. What could he mean? The reward is a beer at the inn and my gratitude, but we also will get some reputation points with the faction called the Hounds, and I imagine we'll get various other bits and bobs. So yes, let's go and do that. Let's take on some rats in a basement. I imagine it will involve a little bit of fighting, but we're pretty tough. Old Billy Cupboard is fairly tough, so we might be okay. I love that. I love the little sort of zoom over to where it is. Okay, we're at a windmill. Lovely. There's me, pitchfork in hand. I do 5 damage and I've got 6 hit points. You arrive at old Rennie's house and he immediately takes you to the hatch. The hatch to the house? Or the hatch to the basement or what? Okay, fine. While you are both crossing the room, he mumbles to himself and keeps turning to look at you. Right, that thing that appeared up there was some sort of branch point that shows that it branched. However, I haven't had any options. So presumably maybe if I'd had a higher sort of wit or a higher, whatever the yellow one is now, personality, whatever it is, I might have got different options there and it would have branched, but alas, I do not. Okay, he's mumbling and looking at me. I have a terrible feeling about this. It's branched again. He says, I asked for the help of a real hunter. I hope you know what you're doing. There was a time when you could count on... Oh, no, hang on. He's not saying that. Is he saying that? No. There was a time when you could count on the Shield Brothers recruits to manage these things, but now it goes to common people like the Hounds to take up arms and protect the subjects of the reign. Actual warriors can be hired only by nobles and rich men, and as if that wasn't enough, it seems even they are losing their mind now. Better cut to the chase, he says. There's some work to do here. Okay, fine. He opens the hatch to the basement. Since you're here to help him, he'll be really grateful if you could also find his cat. Okay, ask about the cat. Okay, he says that he has closed the poor little beast in the basement to hunt the rats, but the morning after there was no trace of it. You stupid man. Okay, fine, let's get into the basement. The basement is a mess and it's very stinky. You look for animal signs and you find a big crack in the wall behind a half-eaten piece of furniture. No traces of the cat though. Okay, so tell the old man there are no rats. Yeah, you've obviously got to go through the hole, haven't we? Squeeze through the crack. You don't want to close the hole off because that won't find his cat. So let's squeeze through the crack. Come on. You find yourself in a huge system of tunnels, and now you can walk normally. Oh, good lord, I'm into an underground cave system then. The place is rather dark, but groups of glowing cave mushrooms guarantee enough visibility. You start exploring. Lovely. You find a big rounded cave full of rats. In the middle of it, inside a filthy nest, there's a giant rat surrounded by its brood. Ah, am I going to have to fight the rat? Okay, fine, let's have a fight. The swarm of rats is undamaged and ready to engage in combat. Okay, right, this is an average enemy. The number of skulls is how good it is. It has 2 skulls, I think 3 is the highest. We killed a 3-skull guy. So let's use our special attack on it. We might as well. This is a kind of free attack. We don't know what it'll do. Hopefully it will work. Wonk. There we go. The swarm of rats is barely scratched. You ought to do better than this. Oh, botherations. Okay, right. Well, let's attack. I believe we attack simultaneously, so let's see how we do. The swarm of rats has been defeated. You are victorious. Oh, beautiful. Well done, me. Well done, Billy. On the way back, you notice another small tunnel that you missed before. You get closer and see that it splits in two. On the right side, you can see a weak bluish luminescence coming from the end of the tunnel. On the left side, you hear a meow, and it's probably Rennie's cat. Okay, let's go left and follow the meowing. I can always come back and follow the mysterious blue tunnel, but let's go and find the cat first. So let's go left and follow the meowing. As you walk through the tunnel, the meowing gets more and more intense. I imagine it's a cat. Rennie's cat must be one of those big fatty ones. You reach another narrow fissure. You look into it, and when two big shiny eyes appear, you jump out of your skin. You can't believe your eyes. There's a cat on the other side, but it's tiger-sized. Okay. If it's only meowing and not roaring, it should be fine. Oh, I'm going to regret doing this, aren't I? I'm going to get eaten by a giant house cat. Go through the fissure. Dimensions aside, it looks docile, so you decide to get through the fissure. The big cat welcomes you with purrs and pushes against the wall, trying to rub itself against you. Okay, well, let's observe the cat. Let's take a look at it. You have no idea of what is going on down here. Everything is simply bigger. We'll call it to get out of there. You squeeze again. Oh, I just took a point of damage. You squeeze again through the fissure and try to make the cat follow you. It tries to shrink as much as possible, but it's too big. You pull the cat as hard as you can, but you hurt it, and it replies a scratch. It's more painful than a normal cat scratch. Okay, do I push it, or is it going to scratch me again? Oh, do I leave? Well, I can't leave it there, because that's the whole point is he wanted to find his cat, and he might give me something nice if I find his cat. Let's try and push it out. It might cause me some more damage. You resolutely grab the cat, being careful not to hurt it and avoiding its scratches. You push it through the fissure, and after a little resistance, you're able to get it out of there. Then the big kitten runs away, probably toward the basement. There's been an awful lot of the little branch points at the top appearing, which implies that there's a lot of different routes simply through this bit of finding a big cat. This is very cool. I love this. Okay, continue. You go back to the intersection. Right, I'm going to go and have a look at what the luminescence is. What's glowing down here? You follow the path until you reach another cave, a smaller one. Here you find the source of the luminescence, a pool of crystal clear water. On the edge of the pool, a carved glass base stands from the water with a big crystal on it. A big crystal, you say? Is it a big, very expensive crystal? You get closer to the base and you see an average-sized rat drinking from the pool, but it runs scared as it hears the noise. The luminescence you noticed before comes from the inside of the crystal. It seems to come down and spread in the water thanks to a channel in the base. Okay, so the crystal is doing something to the water. Okay, well, let's examine the crystal. Oh, branch point. The bright heart of the crystal is really weird, but also truly wonderful. You are sure you could earn a lot if you sold it? Yes, okay, let's examine the base. Do the whole examining thing. Don't be stupid, it could be traps. I've played Dungeons and Dragons. I know that if you lift crystals up, the room will full of water and I'll be stuck on the bottom or something stupid and I'll drown. The inscribed signs seem to be magical runes, but you have no idea of their meaning. In any case, magical runes aren't usually a good thing. You're probably right. It is actually a weird base. Okay, I might regret this. I'm going to try and grab it. I don't expect it to be as simple as this. I imagine there might be some resistance. Let's grab the crystal. As you grab the crystal, you hear a click coming from the base. Oh no, I've fallen for an Indiana Jones-style trap. The glowing flow that goes through it suddenly stops. You're ready to avoid any kind of traps you could have possibly triggered, but nothing happens. Oh, tell me it was as simple as that. Please, happy days. Only a few moments later after the click, you notice some waves in the pool. Oh no, they become a whirl, and the water starts to rise in a sort of human shape. While it keeps spinning fast, the creature stands in front of you, and it doesn't look friendly. Okay. Run, fight, or I think a kind of water ghost is probably going to kill me. Let's try and communicate with it. Hopefully it won't kill me. Nope, it's just hurt me. It's just punched me in the guts. You cautiously step back, trying to talk to the elemental. Okay, but it doesn't seem to understand a word. You're about to turn around and run away when the creature dives and throws you hard on the ground. Then it rapidly regains its human shape and grabs the crystal which has fallen from your hand in the crash. Now the elemental ignores you and goes back to the base. This is a good chance to leave. I rather think it might be. You go back to the intersection. Go back to Rennie. You come out of the basement satisfied and ready to tell your story to Rennie. Okay, fine. Yeah, continue. I'm all for that. Yay, you go back to Rennie. His problem with rats is solved for good. You've even been able to rescue his cat. Now you can enjoy that free beer to celebrate. New background stashed. You've just stashed a new race or background. This means it is now possible to confirm its unlock when you retire this adventurer, thus making it available for your next playthroughs. Yes, and I've unlocked a hunter. You look very cool. So you're still a human, but you're a hunter. Okay, that's good. I got some more renown, I got some fame, I got a point of honour, and I got some more points of the commoners, and I got 20 points with hounds. So 55 points with the hounds. Okay. Lovely stuff. Back to the tavern we go then. There we go. So that thing's ticked off. Rats in the basement is done. Did he buy me a free beer? Did he give me any gold? No, he still didn't give me any bloody gold. You bloody rob dogs. The lot of you. So, if I were to be a hunter, what could I have? That. Look, I could have a bow. That would be very exciting if I could have that. I really want to be a wizard. That's my goal. I love wizardy things. That'd be brilliant. Okay, fine. So I've got this. Yep, I've read that. That's good. Bulletin 3. Huge systems of tunnels in the basement. The incredible discovery in the basement. A very normal house in the rain. During a common extermination service, the adventurer, hired by a man called Rennie, discovered a system of caves and tunnels right under the old man's house. Ooh. Okay, I won't do a voice for them. We will soon send a crew to explore, states the Tricked Witch Fellowship. Always interested in discovering new caves and dungeons. Oh, I like the sound of those guys. Okay, fine. What's this then? So this is renown. Ah, oh, I see. Look, so these people have got 33 renown. This is a sort of live leaderboard. Well done, Marla Graham, Pathfinder Finder. A man who finds Pathfinders, I suppose, is a Pathfinder Finder. So, yes, he has Marla, she even. Sorry, Marla, I assume you're a she. Gender swapped you there. But, yes, 36. So, yeah, 36 renown. What's my renown? I don't know what it is. Oh, this button is only available for a commoner adventurer. It lets you use his/her commoner skill. You can change your background with any of those you've currently made available. Use it whenever you want, or just don't. Okay. Change your destiny. As a commoner, you are granted to change background. Attention, you can do this only once in the adventurer on this one, and there is no going back. I can become a hunter. Oh my goodness me. I can change and become a hunter. So related attribute, power. That's good. I want to be that because I'm powerful. Can use gear from the power and cunning advanced list. Unique interactions, tracker. Well, why not? There's no time like the present. Brute and warrior sound kind of weird. Hunter. Yes. Let's be a hunter, please. Okay, I thought something more dramatic would happen. Anything going to happen? Anything dramatic at all? No. Okie doke. Right. Well, if I'm a hunter, I'm going to need a bow. Because I can now have one. I can't have a pitchfork anymore, so I cannot use the pitchfork. Oh, bother. It gave me +1 bloody toughness, whatever that is. Hit points. Ooh. I can use all these. I can use swords, quarterstaffs. Oh, yes. This is beautiful. A saber, an axe, a mace. Oh, I can use lots of different things. However, a bow seems to be very appealing to me. 3. So can I only hold one weapon? What if I do that? Oh, it filters it on. Oh, that's quite nice. Okay, yes, it must filter it. So if I get a bow, that gives me 3 sort of strength, if you like. 3 attack strength. Let's buy as a bow. Lovely. So what armor can I now buy? So can I buy something else? Can I buy... Robe is no good. I wonder if I could buy like a shield or something. Cleric. Oh, warrior to bloody use shields. Chainmail, scale armor. Oh my goodness, I cannot afford any of these. Nothing for 100. Okay. Right. Let's buy +2 power. I'd rather have 2 hit points. If I can upgrade my hit points any, that'd be good. Damage reduction. Let's have that for the next quest. Because it looks a bit weird, this next quest. It was to do with a graveyard or something. So increase your damage by 2. Damage reduction by 1 for 20 gold. Let's drink that. Glug, 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 glug. Lovely. So damage reduction is a bit better. I like the fact that you can just come into the tavern and just have a drink. I like this game. I like this game a lot. Okay. Laments in the cemetery. The visitors have been terrorized by spine-chilling lamentations the last few days, even during the day. Looking for adventurer willing to take care of the situation. The caretaker, gold +50. Or, are they the only two? Yes, or Enchanted Waters. Good name, Jinbo. Jinbo, Druid of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers, invoke the help of an adventurer to recover information regarding the recent barbaric and inconsiderate poisoning of the waters of this earth. And the reward is higher for that, which implies that that is harder. So I might go for this now. Go for Lament in the Cemetery and see what that entails. And then use the 50 gold plus whatever god I've got to then go to Enchanted Waters and do that, because that's probably harder. Okay, yes, let's go. Let's go and wander around a cemetery. At least we have a bow. I just want to check something very quick. I assume then we can't have a bow and a sword. I assume that's not what we can have. We can't have both things. We can't have a bow and a sword. We just have to have a bow. Okay, fine. No, I'm going to assume that we can't have both a bow and a sword. I'm going to assume that that's the situation we're in. We get to pick one or the other. I've got a bow. That's actually quite cool. It looks rather good. Okay, yes, fine. Let's go and do this. Lament in the Cemetery. Let's go to the cemetery, because that's how I like to spend my time. Okay, we poodle through this through the village. I was going to say city, and this is a slightly sinister cemetery, if I'm honest. What is this? This is a necromancer's sort of dungeon, not a cemetery. Why is there a chain with a skull hanging off it? What kind of cemetery is this? You arrive at the cemetery as the sun begins to set. Oh, of course we do. The massive gates are open, so you make your way through, leaving the tall boundary walls behind. This is the biggest, most ancient cemetery in the Reign. It looks more like a park with all this vegetation and architectural structures, and a giant kind of hole to hell in it. Only the nobles and leading figures of the court are buried here, or anyone rich enough to afford a tomb here. You proceed on the gravel until you arrive at the caretaker's hut. Well, I can knock on the door or look around. I might as well look around a little longer. It might give me a little bit of insight into something. Let's have a look. Statues of ancient heroes, majestic mausoleums, simple tombstones in the ground. Judging by this, everything seems normal. You don't hear any laments or even see the immense chasm in the ground you've heard about. It's just here. It's right in front of my face. It's purple with weird kind of jaggedy lines of zhuzh on it. Sort of that I imagine would go if they were to make a noise. Don't think they do. The caretaker will know more. Okay, knock on the door. Knockety knock. An old bald man with a crooked back opens the door. You're here for the Lamentations job, am I right? He says, eyeing you. You nod. Do you like the old man voice? You nod. Come inside. The hut is dark and dusty, perfectly in tone with the cemetery. You take a seat, and the caretaker immediately explains the problem. It's a common thing to hear faint laments or even feel immaterial presences. But since the chasm opened up, the situation has gotten terribly worse. I imagine it has, because that looks horrendous. There's a spirit of a woman in particular that emits excruciating shrieks during the night. I've been doing this job for years, so I'm used to it, but now that she began screaming even during the daytime, she's been scaring off all the visitors. I've no intention of getting close to her. Very sensible. I've only been able to learn that her name is Amita. I'll show you the area in which she usually appears, so you may do what you deem necessary. Okay, right. Well, if he's going to take her, then I don't need to ask where to find the spirit. I'll ask about the chasm, the gigantic death pit. It appeared a few months ago. It swallowed up the central area of the cemetery, along with the old caretaker, apparently. Okay, I'm his successor. Nobody gets close, and then right not to. Just looking at it gives you the chills, but worry not. Our bothersome spirit isn't in that area, says the old man, smiling. Okay, where's the spirit? He says you can find her near a big mausoleum close by. You can wait for nightfall here, as the spirit always comes out at night. You chat a little more until you begin to hear the lamentations. There she is, on time as usual. The caretaker walks you to the door and shows you the way to the mausoleum, and then waves you off. Oh, cheers. You make your way toward the destination and arrive a few minutes later. On the mausoleum stairs sits an ethereal figure, slightly luminescent and despairing. Okay, ask who she is. That's good. Try and get a rapport going. Ask who she is rather than saying, "What's your problem, love?" Find out her name and stuff. Let's see what she says. My name is Amita. I'm an unlucky woman who has lost her loved one. I cannot find his spirit, moans the wraith, sobbing. She looks like a woman past her youth, with long curly hair that falls onto her chest. Ask her what the problem is, okay? My love, I cannot find my love. He died some time ago, and we have promised to find each other in the afterlife. Oh, my goodness. But his remains must be too far away. I cannot find him. I beg you, bring him to me. Oh, okay, right. Ask her what you need to do. Well, this is a bit silly. I need to find his remains and bring them nearer, I guess. Her gaze lights up. find his remains and bring them to the ossuary. This way we will finally be close, and I will be able to find him. His name is Ghent, who is the offspring of a small noble family of the Rain. I am sure you will not have any problems finding him." After pronouncing these words, the spirit slowly vanishes into thin air. You return to the caretaker and report what you learn from the wraith. Oh, this is all a bit sinister. Okay, continue. "Done already?" asked the old man, amazed. Not that amazed. Did you even try and talk to her? Did you even bother? You explain the spirit's request, and the caretaker has no objections. "Nobody will get angry if we move a pile of bones. Follow me. Let's find out where this Ghent is buried." The caretaker leads you toward a small closet. Uh-oh, sinister. There are huge tomes on top of shelves high up on the walls. "These are the cemetery logbooks. All of our guests are written down here," he says, giggling. I suppose you have to amuse yourself somehow if you're the caretaker of a cemetery. In a corner you notice a broken glass case. The pieces still scattered on the floor. Okay, well, it's mentioned that, so I might as well ask about it. Otherwise, what's the point of it being there? Let's ask about the broken glass case. "That I didn't know. I don't know. It was like that when I came here. And no, those pieces of glass on the floor aren't bugging anyone. They don't pay me to clean this place. I'm just a guardian," he says, good-naturedly, if a little bit carelessly, because glass is sharp, and if you stand on it, it probably will hurt. Okay, fine, continue. The caretaker approaches one of the shelves and grabs an old, dusty tome. He puts it onto a table in the middle of the room and begins searching. "Take a seat. It'll take some time to find him, only having a name at my disposal." You sit down and wait patiently. In the meantime, you look around and browse through the big tomes that surround you. Pages and pages of names and stories. Now, do I keep waiting, or do I ask how many people are buried here? I'm kind of tempted to just keep waiting, because if I keep interrupting him, he's going to get annoyed. But then that might be interesting to see how he reacts. Now, let's ask. Let's get as much information as we can whilst we're here near the great big kind of hell pit. How many people are buried here, crazy caretaker man? "Thousands at least, and all rich people, heroes or great nobles. Well, more or less, I suppose. There's always someone who manages to obtain a spot here somewhere or another. There's competition and envy even after death," the caretaker explains. "One of which is our friend Ghent. His name doesn't ring a bell," adds the old man, continuing his search. Okay, continue. "Here he is," shouts the caretaker, after searching for almost an hour. Bloody hell. "His tomb is in the outskirts of the cemetery. Those are the cheaper spots." "Well, of course," he continues, while hastily reading his biography. "Ah, stabbed to death, and at a young age as well. What a shame." The old man closes the book and asks you to follow him. He picks up the necessary tools to exhume the corpse, and you make your way to the tomb. Oh, this is not going to go well, is it? All right, continue. You quickly find the property of Ghent's family, a small piece of land enclosed by an elaborate fence. Various tombstones fill the ground, some of which with little sculptures on top, others with a slab of rock placed horizontally to protect the coffin below. You find the name you were looking for on one of those, written on the epitaph. "Divided by death, united by it. G and L." The caretaker begins his work on the tomb. G and L? Hang on. Wasn't she called Amita? Or Amita or something? She's not called L. Who's L? Maybe Amita isn't her real name. Or G, Ghent is not a nice man and he was doing something else. I don't know. Let's examine the other tombstones. I don't want to interrupt the caretaker while he's doing his thing. Oh, a sort of branch path thing. As you look around, your eye falls onto the tomb next to Ghent's. It's quite simple, just a tombstone and a name. Lynn. You look at Ghent's epitaph once more. G and L. Ah, L for Lynn, yes. Could it be referring to Ghent and Lynn? I'm assuming it's Ghent. I'm saying Ghent and not Gent, but there you go. Though you don't believe she's part of the family, you wonder why her grave is here. You quickly survey the other tombstones, but that's the only name that looks out of place. Your thoughts are interrupted by the caretaker who calls out to you for help in removing the heavy slab of stone. Okay, let's help him. Together you manage to move aside the massive slab that encloses Ghent's tomb. What you find surprises you. No coffin, just an empty hole. Oh dear. The caretaker is speechless and moves his lantern a little closer to shed more light. You see a large opening on one of the sides, which looks like the entrance to a tunnel. "Now I understand," the old man intimates with a solemn tone. "It has to be the ghouls' handiwork. Those bone gnawers took more bodies." Oh, good. Ghouls. They're going to be nice and easy to kill. Yep, let's ask about the ghouls. "They appeared shortly after the chasm. I saw one during one of my first nights here dragging a coffin. Ugh. I thought it was a violator of graves, and when I got closer I noticed its bruised skeletal body and a face similar to a skull with a ferocious expression. I ran away before it could grasp me with those scare little fingers. I warned the nearest temple, but they still haven't done anything apart from a few inspections. Ah, the bloody temples, eh? I'm almost certain they have an underground hideout. Doesn't everyone? The rats had one, the cats had one, why not ghouls? I haven't seen one in a long time, but the bodies keep disappearing. You gaze upon the empty tomb a little longer. What do you intend to do? I know, what do you intend to do? Drop down into the hole and venture through the tunnel, or prepare a trap. I'm going to go in. I'm a hunter. I can do this. I can hunt sort of weird zombie skeleton monsters. Let's go in. You tell the caretaker to go home. You'll go down the tunnel and find the ghouls that plundered Gent's remains. After which you return to him. The old man seems a little worried, but doesn't insist. After all, you are the adventurer. He slowly vanishes as you light a torch and begin wandering through the tunnel. Oh no. Should I have just laid a trap and just hid? Oh dear, okay. After a little while you see some light in front of you. You must be close to the ghouls. You take a peek around the corner and spot two skeletal figures muttering between themselves. They're in some sort of excavated room in the ground from which spread several passages. You see some coffins stacked all around them, scarcely illuminated by some candles in the corners of the room. Gent's coffin is probably one of those. Face them head on or wait for the right moment to surprise them. Yes, let's wait for the right moment. I'm a hunter. Hunters like patience. That is a good thing. Patience is a virtue. Let's wait for the right moment. You wait patiently for an opportunity, which doesn't take long to arrive. One of the ghouls wanders off, while the other one begins poking around one of the coffins facing away from you. Ooh, kill it or capture it. Can you capture a ghoul? I don't know enough about ghouls. Is it going to turn around and kind of eat me or something, or can I kill it? I'm not very good at interrogating though, am I? I've not got much in the way of speech stuff. Accurate shot is my thing. It's my special skill now. I'm a hunter. That's cool. I'm going to kill it. I'm just going to kill it silently. I've got no sort of speech skill, but I am quite strong. Kill it silently. Let's see what this does. You abandon your hideout, but in doing so accidentally kick a rock. Oh, you bumbling fool. The ghoul turns around and screams in pure terror. It runs away before you have the chance to take another step. Shocked by the undead's reaction, you don't waste any more time and begin searching for Gent's coffin. You find one with his name carved on it. You open it up to make sure his remains are still there. Ghouls are greedy for bones. Afterwards you drag it with some effort to the grave and heave it onto the surface. It's time to go back to the caretaker. Okay, continue. The caretaker is happy that you've recovered the coffin. Good, now let's go to the ossuary so this story may end once and for all. Though it'll be the best not to tell the family we've moved him there, as it is not a very prestigious place. Okay, an ossuary. I don't actually know what an ossuary is. Something in a graveyard, presumably. Let's find out what one is. It's a place where the corpses of people who dishonoured the good name of their families are buried, explains the old man. Ah, that's why they don't want to put him there then. Oh dear. Oftentimes, richer families buy entire areas in the cemetery for them and their descendants. When someone doesn't behave properly, they are buried in the ossuary to hide them from others and their sins, and also not to disgrace the memory of their relatives buried next to them. Rich people are really odd. Okay, I didn't know that. So essentially it's where disgraced folk go, of families. Okay, bring Gent's remains to the ossuary. Yes, let's do that. You load the coffin onto a cart and make your way toward the ossuary. The structure is imposing. As the caretaker opens the heavy doorway, you're overwhelmed by cold, humid air. You begin descending this noiseless abyss, transporting Gent's remains to an empty cavity. You carefully lay down the coffin, then the caretaker asks, "What now?" As soon as he finishes the phrase, the spirit of Amita appears. The old man leaps in fear. There, I finally sent him. Thank you for your help. May the gods bless you. That looks a bit weird. May the gods bless you. Make her promise not to torment anyone any longer. Then leave. Okay. You tell her that now she's found her love, there's no reason to disturb the living. Of course, she replies with joy. Now that my laments have been heard, I've no reason to remain here any longer. All is well. You say goodbye to one another, and then leave. Continue. Did you see that strange expression she had when she left? Asked the caretaker, while you withdraw. You tell him you didn't notice anything strange. Perhaps he was still disturbed by Amita's sudden appearance. Could be, he mumbles. You reach the surface and have one last chat with the caretaker. Afterwards you take your reward and proceed toward the inn. Why do I feel that probably is not the most informative way I could have done that? So I could have interrogated one of the ghoul things, but I didn't, and it ran away scared. Rather than fighting, it just ran off, and I was able to grab the thing without any fighting. And then the caretaker guy seems to think there was something weird on her face. Okay, fine. Well, let's continue. If I've done the quest, I've done the quest. Yay! The spirit has been pacified and your pockets filled. Well, pockets filled. It couldn't have gone better. A new background has been stashed. A cleric. And I've got 50 gold. Thank you very much. 50 gold is very nice. 1 reputation because I actually didn't really do much. So yes, I've got 20 with the temple and 2 with the Magi Council. Okay. So I'm not very good with the Woodland Keepers or Clan Bloody Sail or the Barons or the Shield Brothers. Everyone else I'm alright. Commoners, yes, I'm quids in with the Commoners and the Hounds. And yeah, the Temple I'm alright with as well. Okay. And I've got a background of a Cleric if I want one. Oh, that's got to be magic-y and wizardy, hasn't it? Okay, fine. Let's go back to the inn. And there we go. It's in the diary. It's done. And Bulletin 4 on day 13. Restless spirits near the pit. In double quotes for some reason. It's been months now that the pit, in quotes, has been under careful inspection by the clerics of the temple. In the meantime, there are more and more reports of supernatural events in the area. Luckily, the brave adventurers of the rain rush to assist the visitors and inhabitants of the area, reclaiming the restive dead, and in so making our reign ever more safe. Splendid. Okay, now, what have I got now? Have I got gold? Where does it tell me on here? 130 gold. Okay, what can I buy? Can I buy any special things? I can't buy anything. I can't buy anything bloody useful. Okay, 130 gold? No, just a robe or a settler suit, which gives me... oh, hang on, it gives me... Hang on, what do I get now? Equipped. Padded armor. Padded armor gives me 2 hit points, whereas a settler suit gives me 1 hit point and 1... Oh, whatever that one is. What's this thing then? What can I do here? Oh, skins. Right, yes, this is mentioned on the start screen. It does say that there is now a skinning option for some of the things. Some of the... I assume the weapons have it as well? I don't know. Do weapons have skins on? Maybe it's just armor at the minute. But anyway, whatever. There are skins available. Okay, what's the next one I need to do? There. Yes, it was this one. Gold 100. Jeanbo, Druid of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers, invoking the help of an adventurer to recover information regarding the recent barbaric and inconsiderate poisoning of the waters of the earth. Okay, right. Well, I'm not going to go anywhere without a drink. Let's spend some of my 50 profit that I just made on Mountain Mead. What does the rest do? Increase my damage by 2. Gain +2 hit points. That might be quite nice. I might take that. I'm going to get an extra 2 hit points. That'll be 110. And then if I get paid 100, I can then buy myself one of these things. Because I'll have 210. So I could buy like the Ruby of Power and have +2 power. So yeah, let's do... that. Let's gain +2 hit points, because I imagine there's going to be some fighting involved. There we go. Glug, glug, glug. Some swamp aquavit. That sounds horrible. I don't know what aquavit is, but the fact it's from a swamp sounds very unpleasant. Okay, I think we can't do anything else. So yes, let's go and speak to Jeanbo. We're in the woods. We're at a sort of weird druidy temple-y thing. After hours of walking through several trails in the forest, you stop to recover in a glade. That druid didn't give you a very detailed description of the meeting spot. You're thinking of which area of the forest you should search next when a tall figure, cloaked in a cape of leaves, oh good lord, weirdy druid people, approaches gracefully. You must be the adventurer I asked for. I am Jeanbo, druid of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers. I don't like these people. Follow me, there is much to be done, and you are already late. If you gave me better directions, I would have been on time. Okay, let's not argue with him. That is one of the options. Tell him the cause of your tardiness was his lack of clarity regarding the meeting spot. That might just irritate him from the off. Ask him how he managed to find me. That might be a good question. What a silly question, answers the elf in a know-it-all way. I see elves in this are very much like stereotypical elves and everything else. Kind of aloof, sort of floaty, druidy types. The forest told me. I am a druid. I just told you. I have eyes and ears in every corner of this green sanctuary. Okay, let's follow the elf. On your way, Jeanbo tells you the origin of the problem. Very useful. Some time ago, 2 foolish creatures came here to prepare a love potion. They were successful, but clumsily and irresponsibly spilled it into the river that spans the whole Rain. Such carelessness created an imbalance in the natural order of things. Now every insect, plant or creature in its vicinity grows and proliferates at an exaggerated rhythm. Hang on, what? What? They've got some sort of aphrodisiac that they've spilt into the river, and now all the insects, plants, and creatures are kind of at it, are they? Okay, fine. This is causing problems in some areas where the river flows. The elf pauses before going on. The swamp, as you may know, is an example of these areas. Clearly everyone is pointing at us keepers as the ones responsible for this disaster, and while not even remotely involved, we are called upon to solve the matter. Meanwhile, you sense the sound of flowing water. You arrive near the river. There, take a look with your own eyes at the results of such stupidity. I don't want to look at all the shenanigans going on, thank you very much. The river flows beneath you. From here you can see its banks infested with a myriad of aquatic plants, masses of putrefying fish and frogs, and clouds of insects buzzing over them. Ah, yes, of course, because there's now going to be not enough resources, so lots of the things that are now being born are going to be dying. Imbalance and its consequences, says Jean Beau in a sorrowful tone. What you need to do is simple. Find the witch that prepared the potion and ask her which components she used to prepare it. This way it will be much easier for us to prepare a restoration potion. Now go, let us not waste any more precious time. Okay. Ask where you can find the witch. Be on your way. Ask why he can't go himself. Ask if the witch is dangerous. That seems very pertinent. Is the witch dangerous? Of course not. As all witches, our magical knowledge is limited by a few cheap tricks and the preparation of some potions and ointments. I'm sure you've encountered far greater dangers, concludes the elf, with a sneering smile. Oh, no. Okay, I'm not going to ask why he can't go himself, because, again, that would probably irritate him. Ask where you can find the witch, and be on your way. The elf gives you the necessary directions, and you set off. The witch's home is about half a day's walk from the forest, so you don't waste any time, and go visit this woman. I wonder if we're going to move on the map. No. The directions are clear this time. You manage to arrive at the witch's house, a simple and isolated hut. You're about to knock when you hear excited shouting coming from inside. You recognise a female voice and two male voices. I'm going to eavesdrop on the conversation. I don't know if I'm skilled enough to do this. I might need wit or something, but I'm going to bloody try. You press your ear on the door, but you're only able to catch a few words. It seems one of the men is negotiating with the woman. When the discussion is over, you move away from the door. Two men in robes exit the house. They freeze as soon as they see you. The older one begins to wave his hands. However, he stops once he sees the astonishment on your face. Pardon me, says the man. I mistook you for someone else. After which the two quickly walk away. You wonder what the two mages were doing here, but you have another task at hand. You enter the witch's hut. Continue. You explain the whole story to the woman, particularly the part where the druids need to know the reagents used to create the elixir. Begins laughing the witch. So, this is a witch voice, obviously. Those despicable elves want my help. They can forget it. Where are they every time a farmer or a shepherd is in trouble? They never deign to help us poor folk that live near the forest, let them solve their problems on their own. The woman is quite furious, and she has a terrible voice. Promise her that if she helps you, you'll convince the druids to be more helpful regarding the dwellers of the area. Plead her to help, deceive her, or threaten her. Okay. Oh dear. I don't want to threaten her. I don't really want to deceive her because she's probably quite cunning and I haven't got much in the way of wit. So I'm probably not going to be able to do much with this one. Plead her to help. That's a little bit beggy, isn't it? Let's do this. Promise her that if she helps you, you'll convince the druids to be more helpful regarding the dwellers. Yes, let's give that a go. Why should I trust you? I don't even know who you are, yet I should reveal how to prepare my potions based on some vague promise. The woman laughs for a little and gazes upon you, amused. Plead. Go on then. Plead. Go on. Yes, fine. You can weep all you want. It won't work with me. You've no idea how many poor souls come to me asking for potions that are coin in their pocket. The woman slowly shakes her head. You'll have to persuade her some other way. Right, okay. We're now down to deceive her or threaten her. Now, I think deceiving her might be bad. If she's an old woman, she's wily, she's been around a long time, she's been around longer than Billy Cupboard has, and certainly a lot longer than Johnny Cupboard was. So, I think deceiving her might be stupid. Threaten her. I've got a bow, I'm a hunter, I've got 7 hit points, and I cause a bit of damage. I might just threaten her. I'm quite strong, I'm quite tough. If it comes to a fight, I can try and bully her. I've got some power. So let's see if I can threaten her. She probably won't go for it, I imagine. Let's threaten her and she's going to turn me into a frog or a newt or a sparrow or something. Here we go. Okay, threaten her. You approach the witch and menacingly tell her that if she doesn't cooperate, you'll be forced to damage her little hut on all these nice colourful flasks. The woman interposes herself between you and her potions, cursing. She accepts to help you. Oh, yes, being a horrible bully obviously pays off at some points. The main ingredient is mandrake. I obtained an infusion, which is the base of the elixir. After that, I added some other ingredients, but I can't reveal everything. You insist a little, but the woman stands firm. Okay, tell her that once this matter is solved, you'll pay her handsomely for the names of the other ingredients. Offer her 20 coins for the names of the other ingredients. Offer her 50 coins for the names of the other ingredients. Let's go for 20. That is stupid. Tell her when it's resolved, you'll pay her. She'll just go, well, I don't trust you, so you can start off. 20 coins is a nice sort of middle thing, isn't it? Let's see if she wants 20 coins. My recipe is not for sale, is the witch's firm answer. She won't reveal the other reagents. You've no other option but to return to Jinbo. Oh dear, okay. Once you're out of the forest, you make camp in a glade, waiting for the elf. Jinbo appears a few minutes after your arrival. Well, do you have the names of the reagents used by the witch? He asks, without even greeting you. I don't like these guys. These guys are tosspots. You report what you learn from the witch, but the elf understands something's missing even before you say it. That is all. It is not possible, he says impatiently. But after all, I was expecting it. We must resort to our backup plan. Ooh, okay. I have found a few areas of the forest particularly affected by this messed up concoction. You will go to these areas and take a sample from the plants most affected by the elixir. You will not find it difficult to identify these plants, and be wary not to damage anything else in the forest. Remember, this is a sacred place. The elf describes the plants to look for and where to find them, after which he wishes you luck and leaves. Oh, bloody hell. Well, whatever. Go and recover a mushroom sample. Go and recover a nettle sample. Let's do the one at the top. Mushroom. You follow the river until you reach the humid cavern described by Jinbo. You make your way in, sinking your feet into a few centimetres of water coated by some sort of nauseating opaque ooze. Thanks, Jinbo. Alas, you find the mushroom described by the druid. Why alas? Alas is a bad thing. Alas is alas, the mushroom has been eaten by a badger. But no, this is... I found it. That's good. They're a mauvish colour, almost as tall as you. Oh my god. Some release a slight shower of spores, which form that coating as they set on the water. I'm not going to go near the mushrooms. I'm going to get the spores. That's fine. The spores is like mushroom DNA, isn't it? That's fine. I'll collect the spore coating. I'm not going to actually get the mushrooms. If I go near that, they're going to kill me. Let's get the coating. Approaching any further with those spores in the air doesn't seem like a wise idea. You gather a sample from the water, even though that's not what Jinbo asked for. I'll have to make do with this. Okay, that's fine. I think I would have got if I'd have gone near the big mushrooms. Alright, a nettle sample. You advance along the river until you reach a large rock. From here you divert toward the left until you reach an area with sparse trees surrounded by a thick underwood. An extremely dense underwood, to be honest. Clearly overdeveloped. Exactly the place described by Jinbo. You locate the bigger plants around the middle, the ones the elf recommended you harvest. Make your way through the underwood toward the taller plants. Gather a sample from the smaller specimens near. Okay, this one, I think we can cope. We're a hunter. We can deal with this. We can go through a forest. Let's make our way through the underwood toward the taller plants. You push forward to the underwood until you reach the giant plants. You're in an intricate tangle of shrubs and grass almost up to your chest. You're intent on gathering a sample from the plant when suddenly you feel like something's crawling onto your leg. If it's a spider, I'm going to scream. You decide to take a look, when instead you feel a painful pinch on your arm. You look at it and see an ant as big as a finger, tightly anchored to your skin with its big mandibles. You fling it off with your hand, but soon after the bite begins to burn quite a lot. You look around and see many ants onto your legs, and even more on the ground and the plants surrounding you. Oh, dearie me. Am I going to die if I do this? I kind of want to continue to gather. Also, actually, in real life, there is a storm. A storm is kicking off outside. There is thunder. I don't know if you can hear it or if when I do the noise reduction stuff, it'll cancel out. But yes, there was a rumble of thunder just then. It's very atmospheric. Okay, so I have a choice of continue to gather or go back and gather a sample from one of the smaller plants. I'm going to continue to gather. This might be your doom, Billy Cupboard, but you are going to work very hard at gathering this stuff. I imagine I might take a bit of damage, but I've got a lot. I've got 7 hit points. So let's see. Yes, 1 point of damage. The ants assault you immediately and begin to bite, but you hang in there until you've recovered the sample, after which you shake them off and quickly withdraw from the area. Oh no, now should I have done the same for the mushrooms? Oh no. Once again you search for a glade in which to wait for the druid. A while later the elf appears. I suppose it is a great achievement that you did not die while recovering the samples. Do you have them with you? Says Jeanbo, going straight to business. Hand over the samples or ask the elf for a bonus because you had to risk your life. I might ask for a bonus because he's very forward. He doesn't say hello, so I'm going to be forward with him. First, let me see the samples you have gathered. Then we will talk about rewards. Quickly silences the druid, holding out his hand. Right, hand over the samples. Excellent work, just what I'd asked for, says the elf with a hint of satisfaction. Here is your reward. I thank you in the name of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers. You may go, concludes the elf, who immediately turns round and heads for the trees. Right, bonus. You've already received rightful compensation for your efforts. If you would have taken matters more seriously with the witch, you could have avoided the stroll in the forest. Your negligence in your assignment was obviated by my second request. All is in good order, I would say. You're still thinking about what the elf said while he leaves. Yes, he used the word obviated. That's a tremendous word. I don't think I've used that ever until just then. Okay, fine, so we've done it. Return to the inn. The elf vanishes between the trees and you two make for the vegetation in order to return to the tavern victorious once again. I don't know if I'm necessarily that victorious. I cut down some plants and had some ants on me. But okay, fine, continue. Oh, hooray! With you around, the rain is secure even from ecological threats. You're quite the exemplary traveller. I've got 100 gold out of it. I've got some renown and some fame. Oh, but I've lost some morality and I... oh dear, my morality is -2 because I threatened to beat up an old woman. And yes, my honour is also slumping a bit, but not too much. That's fine. And I got 20 points with the Woodland Keepers, who I don't like because they seem to be kind of idiots. Okay, right. Let's go from here. Let's go back to the inn. And there it is. Enchanted Waters in the diary is complete. And if I go to Bulletin 5, the Druids begin to restore the river. A few weeks after the mysterious events that brought an overwhelming amount of flora and fauna near the river, the Woodland Keepers announced they've identified the problem and already working on solving the issue. Despite their foreignness to the event, they've burdened themselves with mending the damage, even though they don't want to. The king and the whole reign are grateful to those heedful elves for their commitment and dedication. No, don't be. They're miserable sort of arses. Don't like the elves. Okay. I've got some monies to spend. I can buy myself a magic ring of some description. So this is cool. I can only buy one though. So I can have a ruby of power, a sapphire of wit, an amber of cunning. That was it. Cunning, not personality. It was cunning. Or do I save it and have a drink? Have a lovely drink of something to give myself some more hit points and pick a fighty thing. I don't know. But we are going to call it a day for now. And we shall do one of these next time out. Let's have a quick look at what we've got. One has got a dragon. Don't really think I'm ready to take on a dragon yet. Okay. One is a missing child. A child is missing from a small village in the hills. Okay. That's interesting. And more laments. Oh, no. The situation is getting worse. The lamentations in the cemetery are even louder now. You must come back and help me. Yeah, I'd probably do that first, to be honest. Because I know where I am with that one. I've kind of done a bit of that before. Okay. So, there is a choice. I'd probably do laments. Then missing child, and then afterwards, once I've spent all my gear, all my money on gear and potions and beer and stuff, I might then go and fight a dragon. But I don't fancy taking on a dragon straight off, given that I'm equipped with a bow and some kind of crap armor. I'd want at least a bit of better armor or something to sort of buff my hit points or whatever. So yes, but we shall do that next time. We'll spend our money, how much have we got now? How much money have we got? 210. That was it. Yeah, so I've got just enough. So I'll spend some money. We'll go and do a couple of these. In fact, let's try and do all these next time out, depending how long it is. And then we're going to have to start thinking at some point about retiring him, because if he dies, we lose all of this progress. We lose all of the cleric stuff, the hunter stuff. We lose all the things we have learned. So yes, we're going to have to be wary of taking on something. Is that going to be too much? Is taking on a dragon too much? I don't know. We'll deal with that when we come to it. But for now, thank you very much for joining me in the Geek Cupboard, and I will see you next time. The pyramids was built far away, the terracotta was built far away, and the Great Wall was built far away. Far away sounds like a very good place to go, doesn't it? Greece! You handsome devil, Alexander. Hello there. King Nipplehead is not at the bottom of the table. I'm above him. Oh, and that was a rather ill-advised move.